Good morning, grade 8 students. Today I am here to explain you about third chapter chemistry, that is synthetic fibers and plastics. Fiber is a thread whereas fabric is a cloth. We already have learnt about natural fibers and natural fibers in our lower classes. So in this chapter we are going to learn about synthetic fibers, which are also called as man-made fibers or artificial fibers. They are called like that because they are prepared from petrochemicals and they are made by man in laboratory. So they have these names, that is synthetic fibers, man-made fibers or artificial fibers. Now we'll move to types of synthetic fibers. Under that we have rayon, nylon, polyester and acrylic. Rayon is also known as artificial silk. It's made from wood pulp, that is wood pulp contains naturally occurring polymer which is called as cellulose. The monomer present inside the rayon is glucose. So many glucose molecules combine together to form cellulose. So monomer is a single unit present inside a fiber. Polymer is a group of monomers combined together. Many units combined together, it's called as polymer. So in rayon, so we have naturally occurring cellulose as it is prepared from wood pulp. And rayon can absorb moisture and it is comfortable to wear. Nylon is the first fully synthetic synthetic fiber because it's made from chemicals. It is made up of coal, petroleum oil, air and water. It contains almost 95% of chemicals and 5% of remaining substances. Nylon is strong, elastic, wrinkle resistant, absorbs little water and easy to wash. Polyester, it's made from a monomer called ester and it is manufactured from petroleum. It is extremely strong, chemical resistant, wrinkle resistant, very durable, does not absorb water easily and it is quick to dry. Acrylic, it is light in weight, soft and warm like wool. It is wrinkle resistant, does not shrink, cheaper than wool. It can be dyed easily in a variety of colors. Now we'll learn in detail. First one is rayon. So rayon is a semi-synthetic fiber as it is not completely made from chemicals. It's made from wood pulp. And rayon, it's a versatile fiber. Versatile means it has many uses and it can imitate. Imitate means you can feel like that. Feel like a texture of wool, silk, cotton and linen with drape and slipperiness akin to nylon. So why it is called as artificial silk? Because it looks almost like silk in appearance, texture and shine. Hence it's also known as artificial silk. Actually silk fiber, original silk, natural fiber silk was discovered in China and it is made from silkworms and it is discovered in 19th century. It's discovered earlier in the century, and by the end of 19th century scientists, they have developed some methods using chemicals in order to develop rayon, and the natural product which they used is wood pulp. Now we'll move to nylon. Nylon is the first synthetic fiber and it's mostly used for making ropes as it is so strong, light in weight, weather resistant. It's also used for making fishing nets as it is strong, elastic and water resistant. It's also used to make tents because it is strong, light, does not absorb much water and it will dry quickly. Now we'll move to uses of nylon. Actually nylon was discovered in 1931 by scientists of two different places, that is from New York and London. So in the New York they have taken first letter N, in York they have taken first letter Y, it became Ni. And from London first three letters are taken and when you combine together you got the name as nylon, right? And a nylon thread is actually so strong that it's actually stronger than a steel wire of same thickness. Hence it's used to make cloths including socks, parachutes as well as ropes for rock climbing, for making toothbrush bristles, car seat belts, sleeping bags, tents, curtains, socks, right? All these things are made from nylon. Now we'll move to polyester. Polyester is prepared from a monomer called ester. Ester is a naturally occurring chemical present in the fruits. That's the reason you get pleasant smell from them. And polyester fiber, it will not get wrinkled easily. It will dry quickly. It is durable and it is less fading also. So it is wrinkle resistant, so no need to iron it. It is suitable for dress material. Poly means many, ester is a chemical. So many esters joined together forms polyester. And uh, polyester is very useful in our day-to-day life. And there are two types of polyester. First one is terling, second one is PET. So terling is actually can be drawn into fine fibers and can be woven into other yarns. And PET full form is polyethylene terephthalate. It's used for making wires, films, bottles, utensils and other products. And from this polyester, new type of fabrics can be prepared, which are called as blended fibers. So blended fibers are formed by mixing natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So there are three examples for this. First one is polywool, polycot and terrycot. Polywool is prepared from polyester and wool. Polycot is made by mixing polyester and cotton. Terrycot is made by mixing terling and cotton. Now we'll move to acrylic. Acrylic is a strong, lightweight and warm synthetic fiber which almost resembles wool, and it's available in multiple colors, and it is more durable. Durable means long lasting, and it is cheaper than natural wool. Generally, acrylic fiber is much easy to afford by all the people, and it's easy to store than woolen clothes because woolen clothes need naphthalene balls to protect them from attack from the insects, whereas acrylic is a synthetic wool. It has chemicals inside it, so it is resistant to action of moths and insects. Now we'll move to characteristics of synthetic fibers. Generally, synthetic fibers are first made from raw materials called as petrochemicals, and the advantages are it is color resistant, it will not uh, color will not be removed when it is washed, it will not shrink, it is easily available, easy to maintain, easy to wash and dry, it is less expensive, more elastic, resistant to moth attacks, it is stronger, tough and durable. There are certain disadvantages, that is it do not absorb moisture and sweat, so you cannot use it in summer. It will catch fire easily because it has chemicals inside it, and it is difficult to iron. Few clothes are difficult to iron because they may melt, right? So you should be very careful with them. And why we should not wear synthetic clothes in the kitchen laboratory, right? There are certain reasons, because they'll melt. Some synthetic fibers, they'll melt off on heating as they contain chemicals inside them, so they'll melt and stick to one's body, and the body also will get burnt. So it's recommended not to wear synthetic fibers while working in the kitchen, laboratory, or even during festivals like Diwali. Next topic is plastics. Plastic is a polymer which can be molded into different shapes, and it is available in different sizes, shapes, colors. It is much cheaper and affordable by others. Generally, these plastics can be arranged in two types: linear arrangement and cross-linked arrangement. Plastic can be recycled and reused again. It can be melted, rolled into sheets, made into wires and colored. Some popular types of plastic, there are two types of plastics, that are thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Thermoplastics can be deformed and melted easily on heating, whereas thermosetting plastics, once they are formed, they cannot be softened by heating, that is they cannot be molded again once they are molded, so they are called as thermosetting plastics. Thermoplastics are generally used for manufacturing toys, combs and various types of containers. And there are two types of thermoplastics, polythene and PVC. Polythene is used for making bags, and PVC full form is polyvinyl chloride. It is strong and light in weight. It can be rigid. It is used for making bottles. It can also be used for uh, plumbing, flooring, electrical cable insulation, etc. And the two types of thermosetting plastics are bakelite and melamine. Bakelite is a poor conductor of heat and electricity, so it's used for making handles of utensils, electrical switches, etc. Melamine is a versatile material. Versatile means it has many uses. It is fire resistant and can tolerate heat better than other types of plastics. Hence, it's used for making floor tiles, fabrics that resist fire, and kitchenware. Now we'll move to special uses of plastics. Generally, plastic has certain advantages. It is non-corrosive, light in weight, strong and durable, and it's a poor conductor of heat and electricity. And the special uses are, it is used in several daily used items such as furniture, electrical switches, slippers, right? And it's also mainly used in healthcare industry for packaging of tablets, syringes, doctor's gloves, and number of medical instruments and threads for stitching wounds. It's also used to make cookwares used in microwave ovens. It's also used as a non-stick coating on cookware, which is called as Teflon. It will not allow oil and water to stick on it. It's also used to make fire resistant uniform for firefighters, and this is made up of melamine, as melamine is fire resistant. Now we'll move to plastics and environment. Actually, plastic is a threat to environment as it is non-biodegradable. Its disposal, means throwing away, is a big problem. There are two types of substances or materials around us. First one is biodegradable. That is material which gets decomposed through natural process, that is by bacteria. It's called as biodegradable material. Non-biodegradable materials are the materials which cannot be easily decomposed by natural processes, so they are called as non-biodegradable materials. And how are our plastics causing environmental pollution? First one, because they are non-biodegradable. Second, when you burn them, they release toxic fumes causing air pollution. So there are 5 R's to minimize the environmental damage caused by plastic. First one is refuse, second one is reduce, reuse, repurpose and recycle. Refuse means you should not buy things that you do not need. Reduce means you should minimize the use of plastic in our daily lives. Reuse means already the items which you have bought, you have to reuse the items again and again instead of throwing them away. Repurpose means if you are not using something, change to use it in a different way. That is, in our house we have plastic bottles and all. You can be creative and do some art, creative art. You can do it and change it into a flower vase or something, right? Recycle. Some plastics waste can be sorted. Some plastic waste can be sorted means you have to just gather them, you have to collect them and made into other things in recycling factories. We can see daily morning some kabaddi wala, small kids carrying a bag. They'll go and collect all the plastic items. This will help us to reduce our carbon footprint, means this will help to reduce the new formation of plastic. Old plastic only can be recycled and used. Last topic is how can we minimize population caused by plastics at home. So generally, in order to minimize the population, you can go for other means. That is, you can use jute, cotton or paper bags instead of using plastic bags. You should also try to minimize the use of plastic in our daily lives. That is, instead of using a plastic lunch box, you have to use a steel lunch box. Also, you should not throw plastics on the road and water bodies, right? Not only that, do not throw them in the drainage system also. If you throw also, it will get choked. Animals and all also may consume them and their respiratory system will be choked and they may die. So maximum you should try to minimize the pollution, right? Thank you.